after God, fear women. Because what do you mean you're only friends with me because I'm ugly?
I was the ugly friend for years and I didn't even know.
Being the ugly friend is not just about your physical appearance, it's more about social pressure, unrealistic expectations, and internalized self doubt. So, besties, before we dive into the video, like the video and subscribe to the channel to help an ugly friend feel seen.
Get ready with me while I tell you how I was the ugly friend for years and I didn't even know. My friend and I would always hang out all the time. And it was cool. My friends were pretty. Obviously, I don't know. I just knew really pretty girls and I used to hang out with them all the time. Then I recently found out this information I'm telling you is very brand new information to me as well. So what it was that my friend posted one of my pictures recently and they were like, and the guy was like, oh wow, is this that your friend? She's now fine. Oh. So she told me this thing and she was like, that people are hyping my P code. They were like that, that's one of her friends was like, that I'm now fine. Oh. She now told me somebody else was like, who is this girl? Bear in mind, me and this babe, we hang out if you know her, you know me. If you know me, you know her, that sort of thing. So it's for people to still be shocked and surprised then they're posting my picture. It was not computing to me. I was like, okay, I didn't take it as anything. But then, true to myself, at the end of the day, as an overthinker, I started just thinking about it this one, everybody's like, you are now fine. Were you ugly before? Were you ugly before? I don't know how to explain it, but that was what came to my mind. Oh my God, these people must have probably thought that I was not fine before. Then I was still thinking it too. My friend now confirmed it for me. I was like, they must have thought I was ugly. And then she now told me how one of the guys there was like, oh, this your ugly friend that kind of thing. You people, when I tell you that, my mind was blown. I was like, I didn't say anything because it's not a big deal, whatever. But now I'm just thinking about it and I'm like, wow, people really used to think I was ugly. The point of this conversation is that I didn't know that people used to think I was not pretty or I was not fine. And quite frankly, I'm so thankful that I did not know. Because imagine if I knew. How would I have grown up? How would I have been operating? God forbid, though. The point of this conversation is that what people think of you truly doesn't matter. It's what you think about yourself. Because see how my ignorance has even saved me. And I can just imagine how many times maybe those people would have been I don't know how to explain it. I can just imagine how many times they'll probably be seeing me that year and I'll be dressing up and feeling like a gorgeous girl because I truly used to feel gorgeous and I'm gorgeous, I still feel gorgeous, whatever. But that year, I used to slay. I used to think that, oh, I'm dressing up, I'm looking nice, I'll do my makeup. I even learned how to do eyebrows back in the day. So nobody could tell me anything. So to me now, it's really crazy. But it just further cements the thing that I want to say in this video, which is that what people think about you is not your problem. It's what you think about yourself that is the most important thing. And if you're operating on the high energy of what you think about yourself, there's nothing anybody saying that's going to affect you. They can think it in their minds, but it's not affecting you. That's all. It was just a very wild discovery for me. Okay, bye. Thank you guys for hanging out with me.
Get ready with me while we talk about the dynamics of being the ugly friend in the female friendship group. I had really bad luck because I was brought up not only in the church, but also in a very racially hostile area. So all these things contributed to how I felt about my self-image. I was always natural up until being maybe 16 years old, whereas all of the other girls at church had your braids, your twists, a few girls started to have weaves eventually. And I wasn't allowed to have any of that. I went to Dipper Life, if anyone's wondering. And part of that church's ethos is kind of nothing artificial, no earrings, no piercings, everything else. But my parents were very, very strict. So they adhered to a lot of those rules. Whereas a lot of the parents of the other kids, especially the female kids, did not adhere to those rules. So I already was standing out quite a lot, not just in church, but also in school, because I always had my natural hair out. I didn't have earrings. I never wore trousers. I ended up making friends with, for some reason, the really popular girls at school, but also at church. And looking back, part of me wonders if the attractive girls, or it comes with a little bit of immaturity. And I mean, I do have a phenomenal personality, but I think sometimes a lot of these girls like being around girls who make them look even prettier or even more attractive. But there was also situations where like they would be my friends secretly, but then at church they wouldn't really be sitting next to me or talking to me, and they would be focusing on the boys and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of like boy craziness going on at a lot of these conservative churches. I vividly remember the black boys in our school putting together a list of the girls that they thought was most attractive in ranking, and I was definitely at the bottom, and all of the other dark-skinned girls were nearer to the bottom as well, and the top 3 girls were, you guessed it. So both at school and church, I had these incredibly gorgeous friends, and I could see how it was starting to change the dynamic because, you know, all of our conversations would be about the guys that they fancied and the guys that fancied them back. Not much of the conversation would be about me and, you know, what I was doing, what I was up to. I think if you, at that age, it was almost like if you didn't have guys interested in you, then you didn't have anything worthy to talk about. Like, and looking back, like, there were situations where like guys did like me, but like even like some of the popular guys did like me, especially in those like rom-com scenarios where like, you know, you're paired up together and then you realize, oh, your personalities really gel well, but they wouldn't ever confess or like admit to these feelings. And like when people would start to catch on, like, oh, you're spending a lot of time with Awosa, they'd be like, oh, whatever, and then they would just start to treat me really badly. By the time I got into college, I had like, you know, done the whole makeover thing, especially for prom. I had texturized my hair. I'd started wearing way more makeup. I'd started styling my hair in a much more Eurocentric way. I was wearing like weaves and stuff. And again, there's nothing wrong, you know, in a vacuum with any of these things. But it was also the reason why I was doing it was incredibly like toxic. And I remember feeling really frustrated because my kind of like ugly duckling reputation from secondary school had followed me into college, especially because a lot of people in my college went to my secondary school. Hey, this is going to be long again, so join me for part 2.
Get ready with me as I talk about being the ugly one in the friend group. Okay, first of all, I was a dark skin, you know, like, how can I put this? I was like a dark skin and I was like on the bigger side, obviously. So yeah, like I would be that person that people would go and troll. Like, oh, go and talk to that girl. Oh, she likes you. You know, when like dudes would troll girls, it would be me. And when I was like younger, obviously this is when I was younger, I would feel some type of way because all of my friends would have their own flings or whatever, and nobody liked me. Time is running out. Come back for part two.
Get ready with me while I tell you how I used to be the friend that nobody wanted. Okay, so growing up, I was surrounded by, voluptuous, curvy girls, and I was the flat stick in the group. So I always felt like, damn God, why didn't you bless me with nyash and boobies too? But we serve a wonderful God, because look at me today. Look at me today. I am married. I have a kid. And all that information, all that stuff does not matter. Because what? I am cuffed up. I am wifed up. And where are the others? Only God knows.
People really don't talk about what it feels like to grow up as the ugly friend. My ex-best friend, she was the pretty best friend. The worst part of it is I was actually not even ugly. The only difference between me and her was she was light-skinned and Hispanic and I was black. And the effects of literally being in the shadow of somebody literally destroyed my self-esteem for literal years. I literally felt like I didn't even have an identity because every time people would see me, they would be like, oh, you're so-and-so's best friend? And no, I cannot blame her, but she definitely did not make the experience any better. And people literally would argue with her and be like, shut the F up with your ugly ass best friend. And ultimately, it had got me in a space in my life where I felt like I would never be deemed as beautiful because I wasn't light-skinned and I didn't have long curly hair or a big butt. I was just, a little scrawny little black girl. Now that I'm older and I think about it, I just, I cry for
little Aaliyah, because I did not deserve that. I did not deserve that at all. And I did not deserve to have a friend that didn't defend me or make me feel like I was beautiful. It was just always about her. Now, like, I'm just so happy for myself that I know that I'm beautiful and I do not need to be light skinned or Hispanic to be beautiful. And if you have a friend like that, please get a new friend.
I've been ugly my entire life. I was always the ugly friend. If I just like texted a boy I had a crush on, like, hey, do you want to hang out? He'd be like, yeah, what friend are you bringing? Because like the idea of just hanging out with me would be embarrassing for him, right? Because that's how ugly I was. Even in college, when I started dating Jeff, people didn't know. They didn't believe it. We started dating and people would be like, oh my God, when did that start? He's dating you. Like, they would make the most disgusting comments. I would get DMs like, there's no way you guys are together. Like, I have felt ugly my entire life, and I realized that like people thought I was ugly, in which made me feel ugly, and then I never let myself be pretty. Does that make sense? Like, I am beautiful, naturally gorgeous. I'm just glowing. Like, I am so fucking pretty, but I never let myself show that. And it's so sad that it took me 25 years to realize that like I am so beautiful and naturally gorgeous, and that is a bug. Ooh. Like, even the bugs are attracted to me. Ooh. I just never let myself feel confident and comfortable in my skin enough to be outwardly pretty. Like, do you know how long it took me to just wear a sports bra in public? I was so scared to show my body. And I'm just glad that I finally came to the realization that like everyone else is wrong. You just need to recognize your own beauty, and you need to just be confident in yourself, and that is when you're gonna shine bright and glowing and you'll look better than everybody else. And I just feel so good and hot and confident. And you look to my left and I got a sexy husband over here too, so. Husband. How do you feel about that?
Sounds nice.
Ooh.
Now let's watch some clips that explains the reason why some people choose to be friends with you.
Ugly. Did you know that girls will be friends with you because they think that you're unattractive? If you didn't, then you need to watch this video, because I'm going to give you guys the signs to know if your friend is only friends with you because she deems you unattractive. Everyone's heard of a girl only being friends with you because you're pretty. If you want me to do the signs on how to know if a girl's only friends with you because you're pretty, I can do that next, but we're focusing on the uglies. First of all, quick disclaimer. Just because she thinks you're ugly, it doesn't mean that you're ugly. If anything, she's ugly because her heart is ugly. I just feel like when you have an inside that's ugly, it makes your outside look ugly. Sign number one that a girl is only friends with you because she thinks that you're unattractive is you could be looking a hot mess and she'll tell you that you look good, babe. You look amazing, babe. Probably compliments you more when you look bad than when you actually look good. When I say you look a hot mess, I'm talking about things like your under eyes is looking very scary. Your lace is lifting, like your lace is talking to us. Kind of like mine right now. Not too much. Is it glueless? I haven't glued it yet. Another thing that's really clear is like if she's not telling you the dress code. If she on purposely has you look stupid, like it's an event where you have to wear heels. She told you that your flats were okay, knowing full well they won't even let you in with flats. Real question is, why would somebody do that? The reason why they do it is because they want all the attention to be on them, specifically male attention. Because you know, anytime there's ever a fake friend, it's always to do with man. It's typically just so that all the male attention can be on them. It makes them look prettier. It's weird because really and truly it just shows your insecurities, but are we surprised that they're insecure?
I finally understand why baddies have ugly best friends. Let me tell you why. It's because, baddies can't stand being in a room full of baddies for a long time. Because they all have, okay, I won't say they have insecurities, but at the same time, they all want to be at the top, right? So obviously in a room full of beautiful women, and you know, like, you're also a beautiful woman as that baddie, right? You'll feel insecure when you're not getting as much attention as you would when you're alone or chilling with your ugly best friend. So, like, I don't know why. I don't know why they do this, but I feel like I get it at the same time. Because when you take that baddie, I promise you, look at most baddies, most of the beautiful women, look at their best friends. Their best friends, dog, it's a 2 out of 10.
So besties, whether you like it or not, or whether we like it or not, whether you believe me or not, or you agree with me or not, people do get their validation from other people. The ugly truth is that we should not seek outside validation, but we do. We seek outside validation a lot. As humans, we just want to feel accepted. We want to feel accepted by our friends and our family. And once we don't get that acceptance, it affects our self-confidence. It affects our self-worth as humans. So yes, we do seek outside validation. Seeking validation outside yourself can never and will never go well. All you need is you. You need to make yourself feel confident. You need to be pretty for you. You need to be bold for you. You need to be confident for you. If you don't feel pretty, the outside, nobody else will see your beauty. Nobody else will see you. If you feel ugly, everybody around you will feel ugly, will feel you are ugly and will see you as that. But even if you are the most ugliest person, which there's no one who is ugly in this world, no one. Maybe you just need to change your environment. Or maybe change your race, which is not possible. You cannot do that. That's why you see a lot of people doing a lot of things to their body just for someone to appreciate them, just for someone to validate that they're beautiful. Do not follow the standards. Do not follow the standards given online or maybe by family, because trust me, not just friends, even family can make you feel ugly. That's the truth. Even your family can make you believe that you are ugly. So you do not need outsiders. You do not need outside of yourself to feel pretty. You need you to feel pretty. So besties, do not forget that. Do not forget it. That you need just yourself. And once you feel pretty and you are confident that you're beautiful, every other person will believe that. So if you have ever been the ugly friend or you have ever felt that you're the ugly friend, sweetheart, you are not alone. We see you. Your feelings are valid. Yes, baby, your feelings are valid. So do not forget to like this video. Do not forget to subscribe just to help an ugly friend feel seen. Yeah, help an ugly friend feel seen. Do not forget that. So subscribe. Thank you. Bye.